Hey guys, it's Libby, and I have finally concluded a project of mine, which was to read the complete novels of Thomas Hardy. I just got through, I've already forgotten the name, The Trumpet Major a couple of days ago, so I was closing on a bit more of a whimper than a shout, but I am now done with his novels. I still have like hundreds of pages of poetry and short stories to get through, but we'll get to those eventually. So now I am very pleased that I am able to present with authority my definitive Thomas Hardy reading order for your viewing pleasure. Okay, tragic personal story time. My very own mother began her journey with Thomas Hardy in college with Jude the Obscure, which is his saddest novel. And she decided, no more Hardy for me. That was too depressing. I do not want to participate in this. And so decades later, a friend of hers said, oh, you don't like Jude the Obscure? Well, then you should try Under the Greenwood Tree because it's not depressing at all. And that book is not depressing to the point of being frivolous. So she read that and she was like, I don't like this one either. I'm officially giving up on Thomas Hardy. And I was like, Mother, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Wessex. We're going to spend 6 days walking around in the fields with the sheep, and we are going to listen to Return of the Native, and then you will understand. And she did understand. And this is not an uncommon story. I've heard of other people saying they do not like Thomas Hardy, and then I hear about which book they read first, and I'm like, that's why. So I have created not just some good places to start, but a full reading order guide for Thomas Hardy, complete with flowchart linked in the description, so that no one else makes this mistake. So a couple things you need to understand about the structure of Hardy's work. Hardy divided his novels into 3 different categories. You've got novels of character and environment, and that's where most of his most famous novels are. Then you have romances and fantasies, which are kind of like the novels of character and environment, but less focused on the environment. And then you have novels of ingenuity, which are very plot-based thrillers. So you should definitely start by approaching the novels of character and environment because those are the most famous ones and also generally the best ones. And the thing about the novels of character and environment is that they get progressively more depressing as you go through them. So Under the Greenwood Tree is his first novel of character and environment, but as I said, it's a bit frivolous, so we're gonna save that one for a little bit later. And we're gonna start with one of his, either his second or his third novel of character and environment. So you've got Far from the Madding Crowd or Return of the Native. And I give you free choice between the two of these. I think Far from the Madding Crowd is a bit more of a popular choice. So if you want to listen to convention, then you can go with Far from the Madding Crowd. Although if you are just too cool and a total hipster and don't want to read what everybody else is reading, then start with Return of the Native. Then, once you have finished either of those, read the other one. If after reading both of these books, you decide that that is the maximum amount of depressing that you want to read, then you're going to skip down to step 2. But if you want some more sadness in your life, then you're just gonna go through the rest of the novels of character and environment in the order that he wrote them. So you're gonna go Mayor of Casterbridge, The Woodlanders, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and Jude the Obscure. And whenever you find one that is as depressing as you want and you don't want anything more depressing, then skip down to step 2. Maybe you stop at the Mayor of Casterbridge, maybe you get all the way through Jude the Obscure. Congratulations, here is a handkerchief. So with step 2, you have a choice of directions you want to go in. If you are really enjoying the environment part of the novels of character and environment and you don't mind a bit of a silly plot, then you can loop back and read Under the Greenwood Tree. If you want more like plot development and intrigue, then you can go read the novels of ingenuity, and I would recommend the following order. Start with Desperate Remedies, I think that's the best one, then move to The Hand of Ethelberta, and then A Laodicean. But if you were really enjoying the relationship dynamics of the novels of character and environment, then you should go read the romances. I would recommend starting with Two on a Tower, then go to A Pair of Blue Eyes, then The Well-Beloved, then The Trumpet Major. That is not quite in the order of what I think is the best. I think The Well-Beloved is the best of the romances, but many people disagree with me. So I would say if you are in a situation where you can like talk to me for an hour after you finish The Well-Beloved and I can explain to you why it's good, then you can start with The Well-Beloved, but otherwise go for Two on a Tower. I am happy to talk with anyone about The Well-Beloved for an hour. And once you get to the end of whatever track you were following, either because you read all of the books in that track or because you've decided that the last book you read wasn't that good and so you don't want to read anything that Libby thinks is worse than that, then you can loop back and pick another track until you have read all of the Thomas Hardy novels that you want to read, like me. Congratulations. I hope this was helpful to everybody, especially those of you who may be planning their Victober TBRs right now, since it's just around the corner. Yes? Thank you for letting me be very domineering at you. I will see you later.